Okay, Jim.
Well, I'll kind of start this. I asked Jim to come tonight.
Okay.
I was in City Hall here a couple weeks ago after this last storm. There was a question about shelters and how the school got opened as a shelter and how all that process works. And that's an ERA issue, so I thought I would bring Jim and he could answer anybody's questions. I don't know who raised the questions, but Ray asked and Tammy had apparently talked to somebody, and you know, something about a memorandum of understanding, and
Yeah,
so.
it's what they call an MOU, but when we had our ice storm last January, and we had the power out for an unknown amount of time, our concern was, okay, if we've got a number of rural residents as well as town residents coming in, what's big enough? You know, City Hall, we were thinking, well, okay, that might be adequate, but not for however long this may be, which no one knew. And so we talked to the state, and we ended up using the school because of the facilities that they had there, and it made sense. How the school got involved in this last road closure during the blizzard, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think the school was somewhat of an overkill. Now, we've used it before, and if someone says, okay, let's use the school, okay, fine, but I think, unfortunately, early is along this 71 corridor, and when we shut down the highways, okay, you're the town. When we shut it down at 20, SAC's the town. And so in SAC, we've used the Community Recreation Center there, and that works out well because I've got a key, boom. And in this particular case, we didn't lose power. But there is no hard and fast rule as to, all right, where do we shelter these? Now, if you guys say, well, we're not going to use City Hall, if there's 5 or 6 people, then you could probably just put them here. If we've got the potential of 150, 200 people coming in, obviously the school is the only place that we're going to be able to do it. And what we did during that storm is that we had the rec center in Sac, we had the school here, and we had the school in Lakeview. Now, and then we had the fire station in Odebolt. They went ahead and opened up. And the only complaint we had was from Auburn because the fire department couldn't get their generators working. And the 2 people that were critical got in a car and drove over to Lake City and stayed at the hospital over there just overnight, not as patients, but just as a warming shelter. So I don't want to come across as this is written in stone. It's not. And you guys can decide if, all right, do we want to open this up or that up? The other obvious question is reimbursement. If the county is going to go ahead, and Ken and I are involved with, do we close it or not? And obviously, our decision is if we're closing roads, we have to provide a shelter, you know, because there's going to be people stranded out there. And during this last blizzard, you weren't getting anybody to go out. I mean, they were stuck in their cars. So that's the concern. So I have not presented this to the Board of Supervisors, but when we are declared a national disaster,